So I'm Brendan Farrell. I'm Arda Eco Gardens here in Arda, and my passion is here in Arda in the gardens. I work as a landscape gardener. That's to pay the bills, and I love that too. But my real joy is growing plants and creating this garden that I have here. We've been working on the garden for about 16 years, but I've been growing vegetables and growing plants for over 40. And so I love making use of what we have and making full use of the things that we really don't pay much attention to, but can be used, and particularly in a situation that we're in at the moment, anything that we can use and save us going off to the shop is to be recommended. So this old cardboard box here, so we're sponsored by, Longford Heritage Office are sponsoring and funding this video, and so it's my privilege to be working with Longford Heritage Office on it. This cardboard box here, good and strong, good and firm, and that would be an ideal material to make a little mini garden. Cardboard is a fantastic product. It's something that can be recycled. It's ideal in the garden. I often use cardboard, maybe use it as a mulch to control weeds. Just break up the box and spread it out, put some stones on top of it, and eventually it'll rain, it'll get wet, it'll soften, and then underneath it all kinds of activity will be taking place. Beetles, earthworms, other insects, they will work on it. I remember one particular day I was here, it was very quiet, there was nothing going on, and I could hear, and I couldn't figure out this sound. And so I listened carefully. And eventually I found a wasp regurgitating the cardboard. They were making their nest. And cardboard is the building material, carbon, ideal for the wasp. So they were using the carbon to make their nest. So it's a fantastic thing, a natural product. But I'm going to make this into a little mini garden here. So I'm going to put a little bit of compost, natural organic compost, into this. Like that. I'm also going to use some soil, garden soil, and I'm going to go through the garden soil with some weeds in there. I can see the roots of a particular weed called scutch, which we don't want in it. So you just have to go through this carefully, because you don't want to introduce weeds into it. No more than in the garden itself. It's the same thing, the little mini garden. You can just use, if you only have compost from your own garden or some soil from the garden, that's okay. Waste material, if you have kitchen waste compost, that's ideal. Old egg shells, banana skins, apple cores, onion skins, all that when it breaks down makes fabulous compost. So there's lots of lovely soil in that now there. I'm going to put a little bit of multi-purpose compost into it too. Small little bit of that. A little bit more organic compost. This organic compost is the old mushroom compost. Mushroom growers use this. There would have been horse manure, all kinds of good stuff in it, which is perfect for growing vegetables. You can see that the box is quite sturdy. Now, when it gets wet, the cardboard will begin to soften. So I think I'll tie a bit of baler twine or something around it when I have it finished, so that it will keep in position. That's all I need, just to grow my crop. So this is my garden. This is my little mini garden here now. And it's amazing what you'll get from this space. Quite a lot. And a lot of plants, a lot of food from it, but also a lot of interest and a lot of anticipation and observation and learning. You can learn an awful lot from a small area. And I would always recommend when you're growing, especially if you're starting off, to start small. Just do a small section first. If you did this size initially, then you could expand it to the size of the table, second. Then you could have 2 tables, and so on. But you learn bit by bit as you go along. So now, we're ready. So what are we going to sow in this box? This little garden here. So I have a number of different crops I'd like to sow. A little bit of parsley. It's perfect. Small amount of parsley. Some salad mix, spring salad mix. Some spring onions. Some radish. Maybe some beetroot. And these onions here. These are onion shallots. And onion shallots are something similar. Well, you can use them in a number of ways. You can grow them, and when the greens comes up, you can use them as a salad onion. But you can allow them to grow for the full season, right through until autumn. And then you can lift each one of those up. And when you lift it up, instead of one being there, you might have 5 or 7. Now imagine that. Imagine if you put €1 into the bank today, and in the autumn you go back in and ask for 7. You expect €7. That's the investment. Same proportion, same principle. 1 and a 7. So the earth is the most bountiful bank of all. It's everything, all our riches and everything comes from the earth. So anyway, here's our onions. So I'm going to make a little plot here now, and I'm going to mark them out. Our little areas here. Our little crops. Line them up, little lines, little areas. So it's organised. You have it nicely organised. So I'm going to plant the onions at one end. So I'm going to put in those onions here. I'm going to pull a little bit off the top here. Because birds actually at the moment are building nests. And these little things appeal to them. Because they think, we could that'd be ideal for the lining of a nest. So just pull off the little bits at the end there, like that. You're not going to damage the onion a lot. So I'll just put them there for the moment. Here we have. Here. This is why I didn't plant them straight away. I wanted to make them all, give them room for them all. So what I might do is I'll put them all in. And we can use the middle ones, the little ones when they come on. We can use them as little greens first. And if we want to then, we can tin them out as they grow. And just put that there. So that's our little shallot. So we'll just push them down into the earth now. Like that. Now with our onion shallot. I'm going to label them this time. I'm going to label each one. What to do is put the date on it. And today is the 8th, isn't it? Is it the 8th? Today is the 8th. So the 8th of the 4th, 20. And that can go there. So now the next one then, the next thing will grow. I think the next thing I'll do is a little bit of parsley. All for a good part of 2021. So a little bunch of parsley here now. Okay. Again, we'll put the label on. Parsley. So this parsley is called green pearl. So we'll put that on as well. And date. We don't really need, well, we'll put the date on. Yeah, but we know that they're all sown at one time. And with parsley, a very little bit of covering. You don't need to cover the seeds very much. Just a little covering is sufficient. And Again, you can just firm them in there then, like that. And we have the seeds are in. Now, another little one here is radish. And I have these seeds from last year, because radish, you don't need very much in a line of radish. So I had a packet here from last year. And because you keep them, if you keep them in a dry, cool place, they'll keep for quite a while. I usually put mine into a Tupperware container, a whole lot of them. And they're dry in there, and then leave it in the shed, out of the way. So mice can't get in at them, dampness can't get in at them, and they keep pretty well. So a little bunch of radish here. Coming on. And yeah, I think one row is probably enough. I think it is. You can throw another row again. You can do another box like for in 2 weeks' time. You could do another box. So you could have them coming on in succession. And as the box is finished, the great thing about it is nothing goes to waste in the garden. So all the compost, when the plants and the crops have grown, the compost is not gone to waste. Don't throw that away. That will also be reused again. That can go back into the soil and help to condition the soil, because there's a good bit of organic matter in that compost. And organic matter feeds the soil. The Native American had an old saying, you feed the soil, not the plants. So if the soil is prepared well and there's plenty of organic matter in the soil, then you don't need to be feeding the plants as they grow. And there again, covered up. Now I'm going to do a little bit of salad. Spring salad mix. Now this mix here contains lettuce, rocket, mibuna, which is an oriental salad leaf, and cut and come. So it's a kind of a cut and come mix. So as these grow, the fresh leaves comes on them. You just cut them off with a scissors, a little sharp knife, and harvest them and use them, and then the plant will produce more. So it will keep producing for quite a while. Probably for about 2 months, I would say, you get a crop from it. So I'm going to put 2 rows of these in here. Again, the seeds goes into the palm of your hand. Remember that, palm of your hand, because there are no holes in the palm of your hand, hopefully not anyway, and the seeds are safe in there. You can have your hand nicely rounded so that you hold the seeds in there. Use your thumb and forefinger then to get a little pinch of seeds, and you let them out. You can feel the seeds working your way through your fingers, and you can be able to do a nice even, so you don't want a big lump in one place and none in another. Nice even distribution of the seeds. And now we have 2 lovely little rows of those sown there. And then they go back into the packet as well. And again, then we will we'll just put the thing on that there. Spring salad mix. Okay, then do there. We put at the end of the 2 rows, because the 2 rows are the same, so we put it. We don't need to put one on each row. And then we're left with the final little row, this end here. And I'm going to do some scallions, spring onions. So we'll have shallots at one end, and we will have white Lisbon scallions at the other. You can sow them fairly close together, because onions, they're happy enough to grow together. They're not very big, and you get a good lot out of it. You don't want just to have 2 or 3 onions in that. You want to have a good couple of bunches. It's a surprising amount of bunches that you'd have in that now. I'll just count them roughly now in a minute. there could be about 50 in that, so that would produce probably about 8 bunches of onions, scallions, in that alone. So the amount of what you might call produce in this, you know, it's quite possible 70 or 80 euros worth of food could be produced here. But it's not actually so much about that. It's about having something that you grew yourself that's fresh, that you can harvest, go out and cut, bring in, give it a little rinsing if necessary, and ready for the table. And you can eat it 5 minutes, 2 minutes after cutting. And that's something very, very special about that. The taste is so much better. The nutritious value is so much better. And the satisfaction, the sense of achievement, and the sense of learning how things grow and how we can interact with the earth and with nature, with climate, with the weather. Gardeners are always listening. I never miss the weather forecast because the weather means so much to us. So frosty nights alerts us to something, and dry weather alerts us to having to water. Bright days means plants need watering a little bit more than if they were dull days. It's not a rule that you water so much every day. It all depends on the weather. It all varies. So it's a great thing. Now it'll be a heavy box now, I'd say. Not too bad. And again, cats would love that. My dog George would love it too. Though they won't like it as much when it gets a good wetting. If it's dry now, they'd love it more. So if it's the wetter it is, you don't want to wet it just to keep, you don't want it too wet just to keep the cat out of it. But nonetheless, a good wetting will keep them off it straight away anyway. But a little bit of chicken wire or twines or anything you have, an old bit of a net curtain or anything, something like that, that would still let the light in, but provide some form of protection for your seedbed for the moment. Garden with 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 crops. There's 5 different crops in that, and it will be very interesting because actually in a couple of days the radishes will be the first to germinate. The spring salads mix will start very quickly as well. So, and the onion shallots will start shooting. So within a week, this will be greening up. This will be greening up, and so it'll be a little thing that you could watch and observe and enjoy seeing that. Bit of soil, bit of earth, and some seeds, and you have a garden. Another thing that we all have plenty of is the milk. All cartons there. That's perfect for a little mini garden too. The area for propagating something. Stab a few holes in the bottom of it just to make sure you have some drainage. I'm going to put a few peas into this one. Have some little mini greens. That's there. So it's amazing what you can, the amount of things you can have growing. And it adds a great interest because you'll be surprised how quickly in a few days the greens will start appearing. I hope you enjoyed that experience as much as I did. I really enjoyed doing that. Thank you.